Welcome to Getting Real with John Natale. I'm your host today, guys. John Natale, for an unbelievable episode on how to craft a memorable brand as a real estate professional. As we really get kicked off in 2025 here on Getting Real, we had an unbelievable episode last week, a great interview with an agent who has created that memorable brand down there in Jacksonville, Florida, and is absolutely crushing it from it. If you haven't tuned in to Brad White's interview, now is the time to go and listen to that episode. And in this episode, I'm going to go through some very tactical, step-by-step things you need to do if you want to create a memorable brand in your local market. I've become one of the leading experts in the real estate industry on this field by not only being the one here sharing some of the message, I also do the work myself. On any single social media platform that you find me on, there is also a consumer-facing side that actually looks at consumers. I have multiple accounts. That's how I'm able to help agents across the country do this. It's how I help agents here in New Jersey do it for themselves who belong to our real estate company. This advice you're going to get in this episode will be some of the best you could possibly hear. So I'm excited as hell to share it with you. Before we dive in though, I have to take a minute to thank you for listening to this episode, supporting Getting Real. Man, this podcast has absolutely blown up over the last year as I've poured my heart and soul into it. We are getting close to 100 episodes in. We've had numerous guests on the podcast. I'm always looking for great additional guests. If you know someone that's absolutely crushing it, whether it's their personal brand, just in real estate in general, send them my way. I am absolutely open to interviewing plenty of people across this country that are doing the right thing and doing the work right now. It's not that people that did it in 2005 are not important, but I want the people who are grinding and hustling and figuring things out now. I don't care if you've been in real estate for 6 months. The great advantage right now so many agents have is social media and content creation is a great equalizer. Nobody has any idea how long you've been in business. Nobody has any idea if you've been selling houses for 20 years or 2 minutes. And that is a beautiful thing if you are starting out and or you just want to grow your content creation, your social media game. Because it's never been easier. It's never been simpler. It does take work, but it's possible for anyone. No matter what you look like, sound like, appear like, does not matter. This is possible for you. And truthfully, I'm a living testimony to that. So if you're an agent here in New Jersey and you're looking to do this, you're looking to be a real estate agent, you're looking to get licensed, or you're licensed already, you're at a company, you're not getting too much from your brokerage, please hit the link below, reach out to me, let's meet and talk about joining us here at Natale. We're not official yet, and we may not be for a few more months, but there will be additional states in which we're opening. However, for right now, if you are in one of the other 49 states or across the world, if you are looking to grow with a personal brand, you're looking to grow through content creation, you're looking to grow on social media, you're looking to grow a following that brings you a ton of easy business, not grinding for every single deal out there, not dealing with clients or chasing leads that you don't even want to work with. If you want to have a massively profitable business, have a lot of fun working with people that actually want to work and are attracted to working with you, and live a great life with your friends, your family, and everyone around you, go to natalecoaching.com and book an absolutely free discovery call with me. You will meet with me directly. We have a couple slots open. That's really it. We only take on select amount of agents each month to help them grow their personal brand. This coaching has changed the lives of so many people. I personally coach some of the biggest agent brands you see out there. And if you want to become one of them that has absolutely crushed their real estate business, have clients reaching out to them time and time again, not chasing down leads, working with people that they love working with, living a balanced life with family, then head to natalecoaching.com and book your free discovery call with me. So let's dive in to episode 77 of Getting Real on how to build a memorable brand as a real estate professional. The first and most important thing you have to realize is as a real estate agent, you are not Pepsi, you are not McDonald's, you are not Levi's jeans. You are the brand. No matter what anybody tells you, even if you call your team or company or something else by a different name, you are still the brand. Everybody will associate your business with you. No matter what you want to do, it does not matter. You are the personal brand. You are the brand of the real estate business in which you own. I don't care whether you're a brand new agent, haven't closed a transaction, or you've been doing this for 40 years. Anywhere in between, you are the brand. That's why a lot of companies are changing. It's why a lot of virtual brokerages have been so popular, because they've realized that the agent is the brand. It's not about the company anymore. The agent's always been the brand. But now with social media and the rise of organic reach, there's no doubt anymore. There's no doubt, and there is zero affiliation typically with a company when it comes to content creation and creating a brand online. You could absolutely argue having a certain sign in front or a certain letterhead on flyers you send out matters. I will not disagree with that. But when it comes to building a brand online, the company in which you are aligned does not matter. The sole thing that matters is you. And the great and powerful part of that, I feel, is you are in control of it. But there's also responsibility with that power. And that's where a lot of people struggle. And your responsibility is to show this right here. And if you're watching on YouTube, you see me pointing to my face. You cannot have a personal brand. You cannot build a memorable brand without your face. There's plenty of types of content. There's home tours. There's different types of things you can absolutely do in real estate without your face to get real estate business. I'm not saying that you need to be on camera every single video, no matter what. I certainly am not. Some people are, some people are not. But the reality is you do not create a memorable brand in which people come up to you in public, in which people seek you out without your face. And the great thing about creating a memorable brand and by showing your face and building it off of your face to create this personal brand that people memorize is very simple. It brings you people nonstop who want to work with you and who remember you. Here's what I mean. I'm not a celebrity. I am not Ryan Reynolds. I am not Ryan Gosling. I am not a huge megastar. However, I will tell you, most places I go in public, someone recognizes who I am and comes up to me and says, "Are you John? Are you Jersey John? I'm sorry, I have to ask you, are you Jersey John?" Almost everywhere I go. And the power of that, for me, it is what it is. I'm not huge on it. I'm a natural introvert. It's really not my cup of tea. However, the power of it for my business is phenomenal. I'll give you a perfect example. I'm leaving jiu-jitsu class with my 4-year-old son. We walked down to the Dunkin' Donuts. Another parent from the class that I think they just started, we just started as well, is walking their child into Dunkin' Donuts as well. And the wife turns around and she goes, "I'm sorry," and she says to her husband, she's like, "I have to ask you, are you Jersey John?" I go, "I am." And then we get to talking as we go in, and she's like, "I love all your videos. You're so authentic. And, you talk about the actual issues here in New Jersey. Everything you talk about is what we're trying to do. We own a multifamily house here. We're trying to get out of that location and buy a single family house. Have you heard about doing tax lien sales? Have you heard about trying to, buy foreclosures? Seems like it's the only way, like affordable options are really out there, something we could fix up." And as we're sitting there in line in Dunkin' Donuts, I'm asking them questions. I'm talking to them. I'm creating rapport. And we left that with the possibility of, hey, let's look at some of your options on what you can afford to buy. You have a ton of equity in your property. You bought it a handful of years ago. It's a multifamily, so people are going to love it here. So you have a few options. You can rent it out, take some equity out, pull it, buy something else. You can also sell the property. That is what having a brand and a memorable brand brings you, right? That is the power of it. That conversation alone proves exactly what you want in your local market. It's not just about the followers, guys. I know agents that have 500,000 followers, 100,000 followers, even in my local market, but they don't get any business from it. And that's the reality of the situation is you need to create a memorable brand as an agent so people actually contact you and people actually reach out to you and you become that local resource. People feel the need to work with you. And if you don't show your face over and over again, there's nothing to really attach you to that memorable brand. If you are just putting up walkthrough tours, and I'm not saying they don't work, they absolutely work to get business. But if you literally just put up on Instagram, on TikTok, walkthrough tours without your face in them, never show your face, no one ever hears your voice, no one ever sees or hears from you, yes, you will get people to reach out to you. But those leads will be exactly the same as the type of leads that you can get from Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, Meta leads, anything like that. They'll be very, very similar. If you show your face, if you create that memorable brand that people are in the public going, "Oh my God, is that woman? Is that girl that I see all the time? Is that guy? Is that him? That can't be him. He can't be here." If you create that in your local market, you are never going to have to grind for business a day in your life. I have never And I just really got started, guys. I haven't been doing this for 10 years. Got started in the second half of 2023. 2024 was by far the easiest year in 17 years of selling real estate for me personally, for the agents at our company, for everyone involved. Has never been easier. We never charged higher commissions. We never sold more properties. We never sold higher price points. And we never walked into easier listings than we did in 2024. But I put myself out there time and time again, created a memorable brand, and it starts with your face. You have to show it, guys. You have to. Now, could you do home tours without you in the home tour filming just the house and then be really, really engaged in both other types of talking head videos or really, really engaged in your Instagram stories? Absolutely. But there has to be a face behind the brand. There has to. Having any sort of memorable brand that you're building out for real estate. The second thing that's super, super important outside of showing your face is to share your opinions. If you want to be memorable, there is nobody in the world that didn't push the envelope that also became memorable. If you really think about it, think about all the greatest figures in history. I don't think Marcus Aurelius worried about what people's thoughts and opinions were of him. I don't think Marcus Aurelius stopped sharing his opinions. Honestly, every single political historical figure, back from Jesus Christ, Marcus Aurelius, Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Donald Trump, Barack Obama. Anybody who will be remembered for history obviously has their opinions. Again, whether it's a historical figure, a political figure, does not matter. People will remember you by your opinions and by also your actions, which we will get to. But the number two important thing in building a memorable brand as a real estate professional absolutely, hands down, has to be you have to share your opinion. And you have to share your opinion with your face. And the challenge is a lot of people struggle at this. A lot of people struggle at the unease it takes to look into a camera, share their opinion, and then put it out there on the internet and have people judge the living crap out of them. It's not easy. It gets easier. It gets way, way easier, but it is not easy. It is challenging. It is a lot of hard work in the beginning to throw yourself out like that. And what I could recommend you do is challenge yourself. Grab an accountability buddy, grab somebody else, especially if you're not a part of our Natale coaching program. This is what we do. We have challenges every month on different things we should be doing to put ourselves out there a little bit more and put ourselves out there vulnerably. However, if you're not a part of our world and you're just listening to this podcast, and that's perfectly fine, grab a buddy, grab someone that's going to hold you accountable and say, for the next 30 days, I'm going to share on social media, whether it's in my stories, whether it's a post, whatever, I'm going to share my opinions on the housing market, what it's like to buy a house here in our area, what it's like to sell our house, what upgrades are worth it, what upgrades are not worth it. I'm going to share my opinions as they are, and I'm going to let people respond. And then you'll realize, listen, the first 5-6 comments that are super, super negative are going to burn. Thousands of comments per month on all my content. There's even comments I get now that are like, ugh, God, that doesn't feel good to hear that. But it is what it is, and it's all part of the game. Because here's the success in creating a memorable brand. People remember those that share their opinion, and those that share their opinion force an opinion from somebody else. If I tell you the number one worst home upgrade to make is a swimming pool, we could argue about it for sure. But if I make that a video, there are going to be a lot of people that come back at me and say, F you, John. My swimming pool is great. There's going to be a lot of people that come back and say, I would never buy a house with a swimming pool. There's going to be people that agree, disagree. There's going to be people yell and argue in the comments. That is what having success and creating a memorable brand is. Because people remember you're the one who started that conversation. You're the one that they watched over and over again as they were involved in the comments. Also, the platforms love this. If you're able to solicit an opinion by sharing your opinion, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, it does not matter. I coach agents that crush it on all three, YouTube as well, that all you have to do is elicit an opinion. And if you are good at that, those platforms will send you skyrocketing in terms of your reach, your following, and the business you're ultimately going to get from them. But a lot of people feel unease in sharing those opinions, and that's a big, big spot where a lot of people fail. You have to share your opinions. You have to do it with your face, and it's going to burn the first few times you get negative comments. However, if you go back to Brad White's interview, you will hear exactly what he talks about. He's down in Florida. All you got to do is say the word real estate in Florida, and you got millions of people across this country in a tizzy that want to argue. And he leans into it. And he's grown exponentially, and his pipeline is hundreds of people deep. You have to be able to share your opinions, and you have to show your face. Those are the first two. Let's get to step 3. Step 3 kind of goes hand in hand with step 2. You have to make people feel something. The way in which you talk, your tone, the way you present yourself, the way you cut or edit a video, it has to make people feel something. If you just sit there and you're boring and you're monotone like this and not showing any passion, your people that are watching, I'm almost going to laugh at myself. Your people that are going to watch are going to say, wow, this guy is really boring. I'm not going to watch this for too much longer. That's different than getting animated and getting into the content. We're not here to be Leonardo DiCaprio. You're not the next Halle Berry. But the reality is you do have to get into the role of a content creator. What I like to tell people that I coach is very, very simple. It's not that you're no longer John. You don't want to be this totally false person that they never, when they meet you, they're like, who the hell is that guy? You want to share your authentic self and your authentic opinions. This is not about creating a new character. That's completely different, because then the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to have a bunch of people reach out and then you are never going to convert any of them, because they're going to be like, yeah, I'm reaching out to that guy and now he's not that energy. But you want to take the elevated version of yourself. So whether it's that person that's at a social gathering, whether it's, after a glass of wine, a little shot of tequila, however you're feeling that day. But you want to take that just looser, slightly more fun version, more animated version of yourself and get into it. Because if you're able to then share yourself, your authentic opinions, and you're able to just elevate your personality a little bit in front of camera, people respond to it. It's probably one of the reasons you're watching or listening to this podcast right now. I could share the same information I give you on anywhere you've seen it, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube, whether you found this podcast organically. All of it really doesn't matter. The reality is the same. If I didn't do it in a way that elevated my personality a little bit, again, not too much. If you meet me, you book a discovery call with me, you're going to see I'm pretty much the same guy. But in my content, I move my body, I get free. Sometimes I'll do a couple jumping jacks before I start. I get into it because you need to. Because again, if I just stood there, it's like, here is the script that you want to use to call a FSBO. Here is how you create content. People would be like, this guy's boring as shit. And you can't do that if you want to have success and create a memorable brand. I wouldn't have this Jersey John brand here in New Jersey, and especially here in our area, our local area of New Jersey, if I was boring. You have to get into it. So you have to make people feel something. And how you make people feel something is by really elevating your personality. And you couple that with sharing your opinions, and it's become so simple. Again, it's not easy, 100% easy. I look at it as easy now after doing it for a long time. When I say a long time, a little over a year and a half. However, it's very simple. You put your face on camera, you share your opinions, you elevate your personality, make people feel something. And then the fourth thing, if you want to create a memorable brand, consistency. I will tell you time and time again, these four things of creating a memorable brand are pegs on a chair. If you don't have one of them, I hate to break it to you, the whole thing falls down. And this one might be the sturdiest you need, and that is consistency. You have to commit to this and say, no matter what happens in my life, no matter what comes up, I'm going to make it consistent. Now, here's the thing. That doesn't mean you go to, your own personal wedding, a friend's wedding, you have a baby, you have all these other things that happen in your life. Kid gets sick, mom or dad gets sick, you have to take care of them. Whatever the situation in life is, that doesn't mean you ignore those responsibilities of your family. It means you build in the time needed to either bank content, quickly be able to put out content, have things ready to go. So when life comes up and this business comes up, because that's the hardest thing that I struggle, or I shouldn't say I struggle, I work with agents struggling through in our coaching program, is they have so much business. And so they've created content, they've created this memorable personal brand, they have so many people reaching out, it's hard to manage it all. Plus also then feed back your business and keep creating the content that's feeding it more and more. Because the problem a lot of people have, not necessarily agents in our coaching, because we work through it, but a lot of agents have this problem. They get a bunch of business, they go out there, they work the business, but then they stop doing the activity that drove the business because they're busy in the business. And then 3 to 6 months later, they sit there and go, well, holy cow, where's all my business? Yeah, I just closed 7 deals, but I don't have anything in the pipeline. I don't have anyone active. I don't have anyone under contract. I'm screwed. Let me grind and get back to my activities. And then they fall into the same trap. It's one of the biggest agent traps there is. So you need to find the ability to create consistency. I'm a huge fan of banking content. I'm a huge fan of sitting in front of camera, making a bunch of videos, having them banked, putting your drafts, captions ready, cover photos ready, everything ready to go on each platform. So you just literally have to hit post. I'm a huge fan of, and I work with several agents that hire a VA to make sure that they are consistent. Again, instead of rather sitting there and getting them all ready, that's what I do. But a lot of people just create the content, have someone else edit them, get them ready to post, and then post it for them. That could work really well for you too. But overall, you need to commit to your consistency. That's the most important thing. You need to absolutely commit to it. You need to say, I'm going to be consistent no matter what. And then you need to build in the habits that make you consistent so you could build this memorable brand. Real estate industry is changing. There's going to be plenty of agents that are successful without a personal brand for the next few years. But as this decade closes out, I'm telling you right now, if you do not have a personal brand, you are going to work 10 times, if not 50 or 100 times harder than the agents with one. And this is kind of like an arms race, guys. If you build it, you kind of insulate yourself. You become the person. This is an arms race to build the biggest brand in your market. You have an early adapter advantage. If you're listening to this episode, that means you believe in it. Go out there and create a damn memorable brand and crush your real estate business in 2025.